me a second here. I'm waiting for my video to pop up. Where is... There we go. Sorry about the double audio. That's not what I need. There we go. Oh my gosh, what is... There we go. Where is... Oh my gosh. This is great. Boom. Okay. We're good. Alright, so let me adjust. Okay. Actually, my lighting needs to be like, there we go. Right? Alright, let us dive in. Let's dive in. So I need a green. So we're dealing with a lot of clears previously. So I'm gonna grab this like leaf green here. And then I'm gonna grab some moth green, which is like a neon green. Just like that. We're gonna get this palette all set up for today. I'm probably gonna need more paint, right? But until we figure out more so what we're doing, I can't really guess. We're gonna need a little more white. We're gonna need, where is our skin tone? Skin. And then let's get some magenta. All right. So I figured we would do a public video. This is our new Atelier tier project that we're working on. So this is sort of, you know, the highest level Patreon painting content. So we do an hour a week as we work on these. Last week we began work on all of our skin. As you can see here, we got a, where's my focal length? There we go. We got a kneecap going on. And yeah, we're just going to continue to render everything out. Let me make sure I have everything up that I need here. Oop. Yes. All right, cool. So we had sort of started mapping all of our volumetric highlights. So you can see these here, right? That's these sort of brighter highlights going across the tops of the different parts of the miniature. We went in with some pinks across the knuckles, the kneecap. We did some purples and stuff around the scars, some pink on the nose, and now we're just going to continue to render everything out. So I'm going to take some of this base green here, some of the lighter green, a little bit of the tan skin, a little bit of white, a little bit more of our sort of neon-y green. What I'm looking for here, ideally, is a color that I can use to push sort of into the volumetric highlight. So let's see what I got. Where do we want to test this? You want to test it on the knee? Let's test it on the knee. Oh yeah, this is perfect. It's so funny with how much I was struggling earlier today using Chimera paints, just playing around on a Moonstone Mini. I mean, it was like soul crushing to go from like knowing exactly what to expect to square one, but it's all right. That's how it goes. Very pleased though with our current color here. And I knew, right, that this was what I was looking for. I knew that we needed a color that was going to help us bridge the gap between the brightest tone we already started with and everything else. But definitely okay with this. It's hard to always figure out the focal length just because of how big these things are. And again, the one that I'm working on is scaled up. Most people that bought them did get them scaled up. A few people got them at 100%. Obviously at 100% it's easier in terms of like the amount of detail that you're putting in because you just don't have as much room. You'll still be able to hit most of the techniques if you purchased one at a smaller size. But I did tell everybody I'd be working on a larger version, so you know. I feel like there should probably be a highlight there. Oh yeah. We're gonna knock out a lot of work today. These projects usually take at least a month, usually about 2 months or more, honestly, depending on what it is, how detailed it is. But the fact that we got as much work done on the skin the first round that we did, definitely a good thing. Alright, let's move up to the arm. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming, working on those Lord of the Ring miniatures, so make sure you come hang out and check that out if you would like. Those are also available on the shop. They're from R&E Studio. I will try and finish them up. Shout out to everybody in Texas currently, because there's some really bad weather down there. There's a tornado headed towards San Antonio, which is pretty rare to have one down there. But We have some severe weather headed our way too. It's been hit or miss over the last few days, but they've been really concerned with it. I would like this to be a little bit more yellow, but I think we'll go back and tint a lot of different sections. Remember Monday, Miniature Monday is starting, so I'm excited, looking forward to that. I will post tomorrow which one we're going to be working on first, and I will be starting on them from the Zenithal highlight. Remember, those options are always available on the website. I know almost like everyone got their Zenithal out of all the orders. I think maybe like 2 or 3 people didn't, but if you're a patron, remember you can get me to do the prep and filler primer on your miniatures as well. You know, that is like the one difference too between paying for the Zenithal and then like having a prep. So if there is, you know, if there's additional work required to clean up your 3D prints or anything like that, like I don't spend the time doing that if it's a Zenithal. I will remove supports and everything like that, but that's pretty much it. So if you are a patron, remember, it's always available in the patron shop. We do have a specific shop for people on Patreon, a password page. But these miniatures are great too. They're 32 scale, so they're very realistic in terms of their scaling. So, you know, even though it does have fine detail, we're going to be able to have a lot of fun with them. So I think that'll be a big change that people aren't used to, right? If you were used to Miniature Monday with me, is moving into something that is finer scale like that. But next month, so as soon as we start next week, probably by the end of the week, I will then announce the next month's stuff, and I'm thinking we're going to work with Signum Workshop miniatures, and the scale on those are way different, and they're very big. So it'll be, I think that's what's interesting, is that we'll be able to not only, you know, work with different sculptors and companies, but we'll also be able to work with totally differently scaled and proportioned miniatures too, which I think is fun. But I really liked some of the dwarves that I printed out for people, so that may be the direction that we move in. And they're also releasing some other stuff too. You got yours a day or 2 ago. That was awesome. Yeah, I know every day I get the notifications that, like, you know, I don't get the info like whose order was delivered, but I'm told any time like the tracking gets updated to delivered. So I've been seeing like every day, right? It says, you know, package has been delivered, etc., 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 etc. Want to become famous? By followers and viewers? No, but I'll go ahead and send that over to... I almost said some painters' names that I know pay for fake views on Twitch. They got busted by Reaper too, which was funny, because Reaper noticed some inconsistencies with their streaming numbers versus their raid count. That's a big big no-no. That's a big no-no. Sorry, bud. Can't help you. I don't want to become famous, I know. But there's some other painters that fake that shit. I do like this green, like I was saying. Really, it's going to be a game of blending them correctly, and I still want to go more yellow, so that is a direction that we have to get resolved one way or the other. Yeah, you can, so don't paint on the bare material. You still want to prime it like any other miniature. So definitely prime it black if you can. You know, just think of it like any of the other Miniature Monday stuff or the Patreon stuff or whatever, right? Like whatever your normal prep method is, go for it that way and you should be okay. You know, especially with these, right? Like the scale of them in terms of their proportions. Like I'm not going to be utilizing the zenithal highlight as much, you know, and we're going to be using metallic paints and yada yada yada. So like this is going to be about specifically with working with these miniatures. The focus will be like you know, working at that scale, how to bring out as much detail as possible with as little work, yada yada yada. So I wouldn't be too concerned. If you didn't get the zenithal stuff, it shouldn't be a huge deal. I'm just used to it, right? I mean, it's kind of like the same answer. Now, on the newer like episodes of Miniature Monday that we did, I did utilize the zenithal more than I had previously, but that was just sort of like me wanting to do that. But for the most part, right, it's so that you can just see what's going on better type of thing. But what's funny is nobody ordered them really big. The biggest order was at 125 scale, and those feel like pretty good. I printed some of them out at 175, so the same scale as this guy. There's a vein here I was missing. Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, that becomes something that people enjoy and we can continue to do, and it kind of like saves my life. So, no pressure. Alright, went down the side of the face there by the beard. Do the same thing on this side. So the miniatures coming from Daybreak next month are Beastmen, and they look great, really, really cool. They have the previews shared out that they sent to us. Sven's working on all of it, and that looks cool. RNE Studio is doing a Sands of Time release, which is like a Egyptian theme in their style. Looks great. So I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that for next month. There's going to be Chaos Dwarves coming from Signum, or Mid-Nor, right, from the Rackham universe. Those look really cool. We haven't seen any 3D renders, just like all of the artwork, but I already know they're going to be great. They Victus, I think we're going to leave for this upcoming month. I know that they've been having issues, you know, just whatever. All the problems that come with, right, having to do something for people that is creative and all the stress that comes with it. Obviously, I am well aware. But I just didn't have really any sales. So like the Vevictus stuff was popular when it first came out. Or like when I first added it to the store, you know, there were quite a few purchases, but for the past 2 months, it's pretty much been the lowest one period. So I think we're going to bounce on them, but we still have a good offering. I can obviously go back as well if anything, you know, crazy comes out, but so don't be surprised if you do, you know, if you've been waiting out on stuff. We're going to go into the hand here. If you've been waiting to make a purchase of anything Vevictus, just know that next month they're going to be gone. So if you need to get an order in, do's it, to's it. I know when we bailed on Archvillain, there were some people that were like, oh man, let me put in one more order, and they got some stuff in because I announced it, but that was kind of a pain just because the problems that I always had with Archvillain, right? Then it immediately came to the forefront as I was trying to do the final orders. So luckily with Vevictus, their stuff doesn't have any issues. So we tried Dragon Trapper's Lodge, but that, you know, no people really weren't into that. So but I think we've got a good thing going with our current selection. The people from who was it? Some Patreon reached out to me about working with me, doing content or something, and so I told them exactly what they can expect and what I want. So they do it, and we'll do content. But they've been kind of slow in communicating. But let me see, I forget who it was. Let me look. It should be... it's a Crippled God Foundry. Their stuff is pretty cool. Obviously, I can paint anything really well, so we can have fun working on their stuff. I've looked at their sculpts previously as well because I've heard good things about like their pre-supports, but that didn't sound good. Something big just fell in Sydney's room. It sounded like glass. Okay. Let's finish up this arm here. And then we'll do some tinting, because I want to introduce like some... I don't know, we'll figure it out, but... Go up underneath the vein here. Take kind of a darker green, build up, because that's part of the arm, right? Yeah. I'm using all new bottles of paint too. When I did my super purge, I just literally threw away every bottle of paint that was out here. So, starting fresh. I think it's looking good. I mean, I don't know. You can tell me if you're watching. Does it look like some orc skin? Let me do the gives the minis the fresh paint smell. do the arms like test here. That looks good. Yeah, the that's what's interesting about Chimera paint is it stinks. It smells like somebody's cooking crack. Where is I can't see any of my stuff here. Okay. Alright, so now that we've done that, I want to... we're going to do a couple of tricks here. So I'm going to grab our... I still have it out. We're going to grab Bronze Shadow. Or wait a minute. I lied. Oiled Leather. Okay, we got that. And then... what else? Pete, you should just come up here for a weekend. Like, come up on a Saturday and, like, leave on Sunday. And we can just hang out and paint. How's that sound? How's that sound? Alright, so... we got that, and then we wanted yellow. So I'm gonna grab clear yellow. We're gonna cheat a little bit with the clear yellow. Alright, so, voila, there are the colors. Now that we're going to glaze with the oiled leather. At least we're going to pretend to, but I think it'll work out. Nice and thin. You want to get close? We'll get close. And what I'm wanting to do here, and I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I want to do like the top back mid-tone of shadows. So like not the bottom side, but the back top. Does this make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I'll do it a little bit more, and we'll see if the idea works here. No days off. Yeah, I know, dude. Oh, you know, I could airbrush that. Well, I won't airbrush it. I know that some people don't have airbrushes that are doing the Patreon stuff, so I always avoid it if I can. Sometimes we'll do finishing touches. With the airbrush. So you see what I'm doing, right? I'm creating these like much deeper sort of tones as the body kind of wraps around. It should be subtle, right? But I'm hoping this makes sense. So then, like, this right here, it's like on the, what's the best way to describe it? It's on the back interior side of any volumetric shadow, or sorry, highlight. So like right here, it goes across like the top part. So this back little corner triangle section is where I would glaze this color. And then this little section of muscle underneath doesn't have a like horizontal volumetric highlight, so I can't do it there, can't do it there. Here, I can do this like back top corner. Do a little bit of the top of the knee here. And then kind of right here, I'll just kind of do that whole section. But it's only in certain areas. So then let's see, the arm, kind of like around where that is. Let's see. The arm isn't really going to get any. So yeah, that's kind of it for that section. But what I was looking for was just a sort of secondary tone that doesn't affect the skin color, but affects kind of like the light. I'm going to apply more here to the side of the head. I feel like we really were getting somewhere with that. Because when you look at him straight on, you can see that tint coming from that direction. Again, this is very, very thin. and it's just surface level painting. It's not like, there's no body to this paint that I'm applying. It's just literally, it's like dirty water. But that's the trick, right? Okay, so we have like our deeper tone there. So now I'm going to take the clear yellow. Make a clear yellow glaze. Pretty much the same. Now this is going to be very subtle because the clear pigments are pretty weak. And I'm going to pull this to really the front of a lot of these highlights and go back in. So the LaCroix paint, pretty accurate. And you can see I'm just glazing this randomly right onto our highlights that we've applied. The brightest highlight, I should say, that we just got done doing previous to this glazing. So, hey Howard. Yeah, we have a soda stream, so I end up, like, we make, you know, flavored, bubbly, sparkling water. And I do think the soda stream is definitely worth it in terms of everything you get out of it. Especially if you drink either just a lot of soda in general, I guess, right? I mean, I drink diet soda, but sparkling water, things like that, really good. And the other thing too, like, you don't even have to mess with necessarily, unless you want to, their flavors, because you can also just buy like the Crystal Light or, you know, whatever drink mixes you can buy, and then you just mix that in with the sparkling water, and it's good. But they also have, you know, like an energy drink that tastes just like their 0 calories, 0 sugar, all that good stuff. Energy drink that they have literally is like a Red Bull, like a straight up full power Red Bull. So it's really good. Now I'm taking the moth green and a clear yellow, and I have like a neon yellow green, and we're gonna go in real close here. Look at that knee. Y'all like kneecaps? Just look at the amount of color we've got going on, guys. Time to phone it in, right? Shout out to that guy. Let's give some attention here to, now I like the folds on this side being the desaturated highlight color. You can use like super glue, will be best for you. I mean, plastic glue might work, like if you're somebody that uses that, but I only literally ever use super glue for every single thing, so it doesn't matter what it is. Metal, plastic, gummy bear, don't care. And then yeah, also if you have any like small skinny sort of like columns, right? Like little supports, feel free to remove those, obviously. I usually feel like that's obvious, right? I typically Some combinations of things. I mean, maybe if you're trying to use like JB Weld or something, but for the most part, photo resin is going to be like, unless you're melting it through heat, right? Through very intense heat, photo resin's going to be as cooked as it's going to be by the time you get it. So. Did you get a bunch of different colors with yours, or are yours all the same color, by the way? When I was producing all the orders, I was like going through the very end of some Elgu ABS like before completely doing Soraya. So like some people had even mix of gray and green. Okay. Like this kind of green. Oh, I guess that could kind of look green. So you were one of the earlier print runs, if I'm not mistaken. It all completely blends together at this point to me, so. But I gotta give it to Daybreak, they really, I haven't had to edit any other files, which is, oh no, I take that back. I did have to edit one, but it wasn't the miniature Monday stuff, it was dwarf somebody ordered a shield kept failing. The very bottom of it just never worked. So I had to go back in and fix that. Yeah, I always include stuff for free. Some people got a bust, like a mini bust. Other people got other random stuff. And like the mini bust literally is the size of a miniature, it's not like big, so. No, trust, yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, and so that's what's funny, right? Like I always like to include stuff, because I know people appreciate it, but at the same time, I do get people that are like, hey, did you mean to send me this? And I'm like, yes, it was free, enjoy. But I also don't want to, like, on the store say like, hey, you know, sometimes you get free stuff, or like, I don't want to like advertise that type of thing. I could put it in the frequently asked questions though, like, hey, I got something that wasn't mine, is this a mistake? And you know, maybe I'll say, if you got everything you ordered plus something else, then just assume it's an extra. So sometimes it's, I just printed a lot of one thing that I had extra of. Sometimes there may be like a tiny like problem with the print, like maybe something's flat somewhere or whatever. So rather than me just throwing it away, right, I'll include them with orders. So again, I'm going back with the moth green mixed with clear yellow. Man, all of it is really come together good. What are we looking at on time? Cool. Going back on the veins. Now then, if you got yours at 100% size, the veins are there. They just are extremely small, so don't stress too much if you can't get to them. It is understandable. Yeah, I've only ever sent the complete wrong order to 2 different people once. I accidentally swapped them, and that immediately made me, one, it was awful, but two, completely changed the way that I filled orders. So now it's like a sticky note, like I'll fill an order, and then I weigh it, do all that stuff, and then I put a sticky note with the person's name on it, and then I have another list of all the packages and weight, so that way I know for sure, like, you know, I know this is going to so-and-so. Because, yeah, if it was going to be a mistake, it would literally be, you'd be like, none of these are what I ordered, you know what I mean? Right? It would be very, very different. Or if I was extremely lucky, it would be like me sending, because a lot of people just ordered the miniature Monday minis, so maybe it'd be like, okay, well I swapped the orders, but, you know, that's all they got, right? But I'd rather, you know, avoid that. Depending on the size of the order, it's really the most expensive part of that mistake is the packaging and shipping, right? Not necessarily the resin used. And of course my time, but that's never paid for, it's always free. I'm used to that. I was kind of joking about it the other day to myself that like when you're buying the Miniature Monday bundle, you're not paying for those miniatures. You're actually just paying for a painting lesson and they're free. That was like the joke I was telling myself. I remember when Reaper was first putting the kits out, and I'm not saying this like hard feelings at all, right? Because they ended up changing it, but I saw someone did like a review video, right, of the Miniature Monday kits, and I was like, oh, this is cool, let's check it out. They did like an unboxing, and then as a part of the review, they were like, yeah, so this is how much everything's worth, so, you know, here's the value, the monetary value and the discount that you're getting. And I was like, you didn't include the actual painting, right? Like that's the whole point of the product, right? So like that's not worth anything. Like that's just what was funny to me. And I made a comment about it from my YouTube account that said Mini Painting Studio, right? So like they obviously knew it was me. And I was like, hey, there's value in the painting. And they were like, hey, you're right. And then they went back and subsequently was like, and also, right, the value of the painting. So. But yeah, because that was the whole concept. Anyway, it was just teaching people. I'm glazing this color, and I'm pushing it to cool right at the front of the forehead there. It's a little bit sharp there, but I think it'll be okay. That's a great way to put it. Trying to get up into the arm there. Now the hands I don't really want to use this color for, just because I want them to be a little bit more gnarly, right? So we're going to render them out to be a little bit more complete, but was I mid-sentence and I stopped? Did I just catch myself doing that? I always have a fear that I'll just be mid-sentence and stop. We're gonna render them out a little bit more with the like pink colors. Does that make sense? There we go. I still don't know if I like this bicep that's happening right here, but I don't think there's like a. Let me see. I guess that helps. It helps a little bit. So again, thanks for hanging out. We are working on the skin on our next Atelier tier. Sorry, I always say Atelier, it's actually Atelier, but anyway, the $20 Patreon tier, right? We work on these long form projects. We do an hour a week. Tonight, we are doing skin on this big guy. This is our newest project. So last week we started the skin. This week we are really doing the skin here, big time. All the previous projects you can also still do. The only one that may be hard is we did a Dark Age miniature, and we moved away. It was like one of the, I guess it was the second project we did. But that one may be hard to source, but everything else is easy to find. I need to see your tracking for yours. Let me see. I can look it up for you really quick. Since I know it's literally going to the opposite end of the planet here. Where is it? I hope you like what I included. I gave you some. I sent you a painted bust, so I hope you enjoy it. But it was something that was light, so I knew that it wouldn't increase, the shipping all crazy. I misspell your name every time. Okay, let's see if it's updated for me. It just, okay. How funny. Alright, let me look. This tracking is trash. Okay, so it says it processed through. Okay, so as of the 25th, it is now in, oh, you go by sibling? Interesting, okay. I recently saw somebody with your name too on a show. I forget what show, because that's like the first time I'd ever seen anybody with your name, right? It was you. And then I saw it like on Netflix. Somebody had the same name. I was like, oh, well, there you go. But all right, so as of 3 days ago, it is an international air. Okay, so it could. I mean, you saw the tracking info. Yeah, I mean, if it does show up on time, that's badass. I mean, we'll see, right? got your packages in the mail. What's funny is like all of them always have such ridiculous tracking. Oh, you got it okay, so mid-sentence, that's funny, because I was about to say, your package said it was supposed to be shipped, or it was supposed to arrive to you like Friday, or something, so, and anyway, it never seems to update correctly in the system, but I don't remember what you got. Hopefully nothing was broken. And if anything did break, it's easy fix. But seeing as how you didn't come in here screaming and yelling, I'm assuming nothing crazy. Alright, well, I mean, I think we're looking pretty good. This mini and the new miniature one. Did you get 150 or normal size of this guy? $150. What color is he? Is he mint green and gray? Gray. Interesting. You missed the conversation I was having earlier, but I've gone through like 4 different brands of resin recently, but I'm now settled on the one that I'm using for sure. All right. Boom. I'm very happy with where we got the skin today. I mean, I think, I know we were working on it earlier, but I really think the knee is like the best example of everything we've done today, because we have the combo of like the regular mid-tone green. You can see that olive tone that we put in there. You can see the yellow tone we put in there. So yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, it pretty much exists everywhere, but definitely pleased. So remember, tomorrow we're going to be working on finishing up the 2 Lord of the Ringo minis here. So we've got Sam and Frodo. Here's Frodolino. We're going to do a little glowing sword action. And here we've got Sam. Definitely fun. So we're going to be working on those. Friday, we'll figure out something to do if I'm going to stream. And then Saturday, I rescheduled Patreon, the $10 class last weekend. So that is now this Saturday. And that's pretty much it. So, but yeah, remember, this was for the $20 and above tier on Patreon. We always work on these long-form, high-level projects. Pretty much the corresponding dollar amount, goes along with increased difficulty in terms of what we're doing. But a lot of people seem to like these because they're done in smaller, little bite-sized portions, so it's easier for them to sort of catch up throughout the week and work, across the span of that hour video to do, small sections of everything. So, but yeah, so now that we've done this work on the skin, I'm assuming next week we will probably begin on some armor piece. So, the shoulder pad is going to take a while because it's this braided, latticed, woven material, and I kind of want to do red. I think that would make the most sense, obviously, with a big old World of Warcrafty looking orc. And then we debated what this material was a lot, and by we I mean me talking to an empty room. But we were trying to figure out if it was stone, if it was whatever. Comparing it to other pieces of metal on the miniature, it is metal. So maybe we start the non-metallic metals, or the base coat them next week, something like that. If I had to guess, it'll take 2 weeks, 2 sessions, 3 sessions to do the metals. It'll probably take 1 session to do the shoulder and the horns, toss in details with the hair. It'll probably take 1 session to do all of the cloth and all of this bandagey wrap type stuff too. But, if I had to guess, we have another month and a half for sure on this one. Yeah, it looks like it's almost wood, and what helped me determine exactly what it was is on top. If you look at the materials, like certain things are a tell based on what it is, but other metal pieces that are on his body have the same texture like this, and these like thick textures. I thought that maybe it was like stone, right? But the fact that there's like a bolt in it in certain areas, and you know, I think it's just a very crude metal. Other parts are more tailored, like you know, like the wrists and everything like that. We're probably going to paint in a different color. With the mock-up that we did, I thought, you know, let's just do it all the same metal. We may do the wrists in some kind of like really awesome copper with lots of rust. So I'm thinking that will be really cool with the teal and all that good stuff. And then everything else will just be like, you know, your standard black and white. But there's a support right here. Hidden. Boop. Now it's going. But yeah, so anyway, very pleased with what happened tonight. I think it looks great. I think it's probably the best green skin I've painted, but I've also never painted more this in depth. So there you go. But I love it. I love the musculature, highlights that we got going on, the colors we got going on. It's pretty sick. So, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, check out patreon.com/minipaintingstudio if you want to get in on this action. Remember, this miniature is on sale currently on the website. You can get it along with all the other Daybreak stuff. And then remember, next Monday is going to be Miniature Monday. So if you are interested in getting the discounted bundle, and it is discounted like across the board, if you get it scaled up, whatever, obviously you know, whatever. It is discounted as a bundle, so check that out. And yeah, that'll be it. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and I will holler at you later. Remember, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do the video at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So, and that's it. Adios, and you know, all that good stuff.